thought I'd follow up on my previous video by showing you what I brought home from the Middle Eastern food store, since a lot of people across the country or even the world may never have had the opportunity to go to one and see the kind of food they have there. So let me show you what I got. The first thing I got was this, which is it's described obviously as pepper fillet, and what it is basically is bell peppers or some kind of peppers that have been cut up and included with carrots and spices in vinegar, so they should be quite tangy. One thing I wanted to get when I went to the store is a kind of sauce called baba ganoush. I'm sorry, called imam bayeldi, which is an eggplant preparation. And I couldn't find imam bayeldi, but I did find these eggplant slices with spices and vinegar, so those should be nice to try. One thing I'm quite familiar with from growing up in the American South is okra, and so here we have okra, and it's not actually in vinegar, it's in water with citric acid, so I'm going to find out what that tastes like. If you've ever been to a Middle Eastern restaurant and maybe gotten a falafel plate or something like that, one of the things that often comes with it is slices of a vegetable that actually appear kind of pinkish purple, and they don't have a whole lot of taste. They have a little bit, and you might wonder what those are. Well, actually, they're turnips. They're pickled turnips, and they are made purple just by food coloring. Or pinkish purple, whatever you want to call it, by food coloring. So that's the story on those. I was able, fortunately, to find some baba ganoush, which is an eggplant sauce, in a small size, and that was nice because I don't eat a whole lot of baba ganoush, and so if I have a big container of it, it's going to go bad. I was also able to get some hummus tahini, which is chickpeas or garbanzo beans, as you can see, plus some crushed seeds and things like that, and is also another sauce that's used to accompany the food. Another thing you commonly get is, the equivalent of pitas, and I got some frozen, ready to be fried onion bread that's kind of like that, so it'll be interesting to try that. And then something else that I'd never seen before, but I'm interested to try, is this aloo vujia, which says it's spicy potato noodles. And they look a little bit like the chow mein noodles that you see in Oriental food, so we'll see how they compare. I also got a number of ready-to-eat meals. For example, this one is pineapple sweet and sour curry. It's pineapple chunks in a curry sauce. And by the way, this comes from Bangalore in India. That's one of the things you find with Middle Eastern cuisine is all the way from Greece over to India, the food tends to be somewhat similar. They use a lot of the same ingredients, and so in a market like this, you'll find stuff from all over that whole region. Another thing I got is aloo moter, which is baby potatoes and green peas in curry, and it looks very much like another Indian dish that I really like, so I wanted to try that. I got some jeera rice, which is rice flavored with cumin. And cumin, if you've read the Old Testament or if you happen to remember this passage, cumin is one of the things that New Testament, I'm sorry, Jesus mentions when he's talking about tithing. He talks about how the Pharisees would tithe out a tenth of their dill and mint and cumin. And obviously we use cumin a lot today, but it's a spice that was used back in their cooking back in Jesus' day. I also got shahi paneer, which is cottage cheese, actually, or it's not exactly cottage cheese, but that's a pretty close analog. It's kind of like tofu, and it also is in a curry sauce. And then I got paneer tikka masala, which is again the quote-unquote cottage cheese or tofu-like substance in another kind of sauce, this time a spicy onion sauce. So that'll be interesting to try. Those are ready-to-eat meals, by the way. Now, I also got some additional things that I have not tried before. This is rose water, and I am interested to see. I have had rose water before, and it's got an interesting taste. I want to see how I can use this. I'm not sure if I may just, drink it as a beverage or use it as some kind of flavoring, but we'll see. Something that I did get as a flavoring is, as a flavoring sauce, is this pomegranate molasses. And pomegranate obviously is a fruit that many people associate with the Middle East, and it's got an interesting taste. And I hadn't ever seen molasses made out of it before, so maybe I'll find a way to use that. And I'm sure I will. Something I'm very much looking forward to is mint syrup. I love mint, and finding mint syrup I know I can use that. Now, one of the things that I tried some time ago when I was eating dinner at the YMCA in Nazareth as part of one of the Catholic Answers cruises, and they served us a dessert, which it was like a little soft cake, not very big, just very small, just an inch by half an inch, and it tasted like a flower. In fact, it tasted, if I'm not mistaken, like lavender. And when I saw these sauces, I thought maybe I could find a lavender sauce and kind of duplicate that. Well, I didn't find that, but I did find a lavender flower drink. You heat up some water. This is like a lavender tea. So I'm going to try that and see how that is. Now, that's most of what I got. Those are the different foods I'll be eating in the future. But what I'm going to be eating pretty quickly, because I got them fresh from the deli, are these things. These are the Middle Eastern equivalent of hot dogs. They're called falafel. And you see people in the Middle East pushing falafel stands just like you see them pushing hot dog stands here in the United States. What they are is it's another way of preparing ground chickpeas, and it's kind of like chickpea cornbread, if you can think about that. I also got a couple of other nice things to eat in the short term. I got this rice, which is flavored with nuts and peas and lamb meat. And so that should be very nice to have for dinner tonight. And then I also got some dolma. Dolma are stuffed vegetables, basically. You most commonly see them like this. These are stuffed grape leaves, and they're stuffed with rice and lamb. And then I also got a stuffed pepper, and a stuffed zucchini, and a stuffed onion to try. So I'm going to be interested to see how those taste. And so that's the kind of stuff that you might find at a Middle Eastern food market or at a Middle Eastern restaurant. And as I said before, if you've never tried it, you should.